ready. Just turn on the console.
Welcome to the AggroCast, the official podcast at AggroGamer.com. This is episode 64, and I'm your host, Michael Camacho. And with me, but for some reason missing their pants, Brian Bentley and Ben Win-Win.
Win-Win?
Oh God. Here we go again.
What do you need pants for? It's not like we're on video.
True.
What up, y'all?
God damn, that was not me for once.
Wow.
Yeah, that was very loud. I hope people are listening to this at work. That shit jumps in. What up, y'all? Everybody's like, what the fuck was that?
That's hilarious.
That would be funny. Damn it, Ben. We know that was
What?
true, because I know Brian wouldn't do anything like that.
Well, it's better than me just going and say, penis.
True.
Yeah.
By the way, if everybody listened to the end of the podcast last time and heard that full audio from that YouTube clip that the Give Me Twinkies or Give Me Death motherfuckers came from, he has a new video about the Sony PlayStation Move. Kind of funny. So how's everybody been? It's been 2 weeks again. Gotta apologize to the listeners for that. I was on mid-shift last week. I apologize.
We'll eventually get back to every week,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
At some point. You know, maybe after my project ends and... Yeah, I don't know. That's all I got.
And
4 weeks.
after I decide that I don't want to work so much.
Yeah, you need the money.
Hey, fuck the IRS. I wouldn't have to do this if the IRS would give me my damn tax return.
I mean, you have a house to pay for and dolls to buy.
Yes. They're making... Oh, Ben will appreciate this. They're bringing out the Moe Moe Kyun figure of Mio.
Wow, really?
Yes. I'm, pre-ordered now.
Oh God.
Yes. So.
You know, by the time I get to your house, it's going to be nothing but full of dolls. Wait, it already is. Never mind.
Yep. The computer room is. The basement is.
I'm surprised it hasn't reached over to the kitchen yet.
Nope. Stays in the computer room and the basement only.
And the living room and his bedroom.
Nope.
Nowhere else.
Nope.
And the bathroom. Nowhere else.
And the couple at work. But there's usually doubles. So, anyway. So, Ben, you are currently in another location than normal, so why don't you start us off with what you've been up to?
I am currently in the wonderful land of Las Vegas right now, and I'm out here for a job testing that I did on Wednesday. I did fairly well and just failed one test by 12%, so I have to come back here in April to retake the test and whatnot. Other than that, just emailing all my teachers, letting them know I'm not going to be there for the first 2 weeks of class because after I leave here in Vegas, I'll be home for like a good less than 24 hours, and then I'll be hopping a flight over down to Baltimore and driving up with you, Mike, to Boston.
Yeah, win-win.
Oh God.
I'm gonna get on the podcast something that just says win-win, and I'm gonna put it on repeat. Not the podcast, my iPod. And as we're pulling into Boston, I'm gonna blare that out the windows.
It's like the win-win tour is going to be hitting, Philadelphia, New York, Boston.
Connecticut, Boston, we're gonna hit them all.
So if you happen to be on that road trip,
yeah. Look, keep a lookout for the Xbox.
That's right.
It says G Nitro on it. You can't miss it.
But yeah, other than that, I wish my teacher would stop calling me, even though I sent out the email so they wouldn't call me. Be like, oh, you missed the first week of class and just making sure everything's all right. Yeah, I sent you the email in the first place. What do you want me to do? I already told you guys I'm not going to be there for the first 2 weeks of class.
That's crazy.
So, and then I had it was, what was it, Friday. I've had 2, 3 of my classmates emailing me or calling me, hey, just let you know you missed the first. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
They're worried about you, Ben, and that's important.
Ben,
Apparently they are. I'm like, what the
just
hell?
tell them that you're going out on dates from the win-win contest.
Oh,
Hey, I hear you were macking on some ladies down there in Vegas.
that's right.
I was pretty drunk. All right,
The win-win,
You don't
the win-win
need-
bus hits the strip.
Hold on a second. Let's be honest here, Ben. Brian and I will both vouch from E3. You don't need to be drunk to be macking on ladies.
That's true.
That is not an excuse.
Okay.
So did any of the ladies win-win?
And
No and no.
damn, at least I got to use the squeaking sound again.
Contest back
Oh.
on.
Yep. Don't worry, ladies, as you heard, nothing happened, so he's still available. Win-win?
Win-win?
We'll let you be for a bit, Ben. Brian, what have you been up to? Brian.
Right, so if you leave
Stop
the
eating.
mute mic on, apparently no one hears you.
Yeah, stop eating for a second and talk.
Well, I didn't realize we were going to switch gears quite that fast. But, no, I've been really good, just really, really busy at work. Also been busy playing Final Fantasy 13, but we'll get to that when we're doing what we've been playing. This weekend, actually, I went back up to Chicago to see some friends, and we went and saw Great Big Sea last night, and they were awesome live, like just absolutely awesome. So they're kind of, if you guys don't know who Great Big Sea is, they're kind of a Irish folksy shanty band.
Sounds wonderful.
They've been, they said that this St. Patrick's Day marks their 17th year together, so they've been together a long time there. Not like, they're not mainstream at all, but they're really good. So, and they were really good live, which is, can't always say that about every band, but,
It's always a good plus.
yeah, it made a huge difference. So, down at the House of Blues, which was a really cool venue, but we were all packed in like sardines.
Wow. Sounds like fun.
It was a good time. It was a good time. That's really about it.
All right. Well, as for me, kind of had a busy 2 weeks. Working some off shifts the past week, but last weekend we had our 2010 spring goozex.com/cheapassgamer.com meetup. Went great. Once again, I put it together, and we had about 20 plus people show up. One other person actually had a Mass Effect 2 hoodie with them. So I was like, awesome. So we were just talking about that. I spent most of the time bashing Bethesda and hyping up BioWare, as did the other guy. But that
How'd
was
it
good.
work out for you
Oh, great.
after playing Awakenings?
All right, we'll get to that. We'll get to that, okay? God damn it. Other than that, I mean, been trying to get some gaming in, trying to get caught up on podcasts. Almost there. Only have like 3 or 4 more to listen to out of like 20 some at the beginning of last week. Caught up on some anime. Finally finished the first season of Spice and Wolf. For the anime fans out there, this is an excellent series. It's basically about a merchant who comes across the goddess of harvest, Holo, and she's basically like a wolf, but she takes a human form, but she still has the ears and the tail, but he's trying to help her get north to where she's from originally, and it's kind of like how their relationship grows with each other as well as them, I should say, not as well as them. It's a nice look at economics and the free market. It's not heavy on it, but it's enough to give you a good storyline for the show. And it just shows different situations that they fall into and stuff like that. The character development and relationships are great in the show. Everybody seems somewhat original, even on like the NPCs, but the main characters of the show are very well done. Voice work is great. Great animation. I definitely recommend the show for anybody who's into anime. Other than that, waiting for my 10K badge from Goozex as I hit the 10,000 mark. I think I talked about that on the last one.
You get a badge?
Well, for the forums, they said they were going to make one for me since I was the first one to ever hit it.
Oh, that's what they're saying. Like, I they're going to give you a nice little sash, and you put your badge on there. You're going to wear it around like a girl's.
No. No, fuck.
Yeah, you should totally get a sash, like, and it'll say like Miss Goozex 2010.
That'd be awesome. I'd rock it.
I'm sure you probably would.
It would be funny. I don't care. Hey, everybody who listens to the show, I know you listeners out there just know I have no shame. Okay?
Yes.
I don't give a shit.
And then they would make a doll of Mike with the sash that you could take it on and off.
Yeah, just give me
and
boobs.
Then he would get it and have it on his shelf.
Just give me boobs,
man.
though. Give me boobs. That's all I ask.
We could probably make Mike into like a Girl Scout or whatever, and then have the outfit and everything.
Yeah.
And then have like some sort of weird pose that he'll probably like, and with the sash on it and everything. Oh, he'll probably have that. He'll probably have that like in front of his computer all the time.
You'd be able to take off his clothes and put them back on, and then there would be interactive clothes that you could purchase online. And he would be a T-shirt that said "Win-win."
Yes. Dude, make the doll. No, it has to come with the win-win shirt standard. It's gotta
I'm gonna totally get an avatar. I'm gonna put in for Microsoft to make an avatar shirt.
Dude, it's too bad you can't make your own shirts on the Rock Band. So because you can pay like what $60 to $80 to have your actual Rock Band avatar made into a statue if you have the PS3 or 360 version. It syncs up with the Rock Band network. It would be so sweet if you could make your own T-shirts on there and have it say "win-win."
That'd be awesome.
Oh.
You gotta make those for E3.
Dude.
Win-win, and on the back just say "Ask us about it."
No, it should just say @AggroGamer.com. Oh, sorry, Ben. Got all quiet. Come back to us. Oh. Okay, we'll just keep moving on. Nah, he's still there. He's just not talking to us. So, got a couple comments and some emails from people. I should say an email from someone. So, on the last AggroCast from 2 weeks ago, Duddy, one of our listeners, Duddy, aka Dustin, who is kind of like on Goozex, is like my hentai grasshopper in training. So he kind of told me that I kind of went a little far on the last show. I was told that my squirter comment, even in his standards, was a little too far. So I'd like to apologize to anyone that may have been offended. Because it had to have been bad if he said something. Other than that, we do have an email from one of our favorite listeners, Shockman.
What?
Shockman says, "Aloha, gents. Great job as usual. I agree with Brian on Heavy Rain. Great game, but weak voice acting. While I found the game innovative and engaging, the dialogue is terrible. The timing just doesn't work. I feel like I'm watching a Sci-Fi Channel made-for-TV movie."
Dino Shark.
And then he moves on to Activision Infinity Ward. He says, "As far as Activision/Infinity Ward, who cares? Battlefield Bad Company 2 all the way. Fun as ever, guys. Next time you need a fill-in, though, feel free to send me a message." Then he gives his contact info, which he says, "Please keep off air." He feels like he's missing out when he listens in sometimes. So he says, "Aloha, Shockman, P.S. Win-win."
Win-win?
Oh, God.
And I'm not joking, that's actually in there.
Normally we'd be classless and just add it, but this time he put it in there, so it's all good.
Exactly. Before we get into what we've been playing, I do want to say we have had our first winners in the AggroGamer Twitter contest.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
You have some, read the question and, do we have a couple you can, Say, like, you know, I think the first one was, what was the last game you beat?
Yeah, what was the last game you beat? And
Sorry, I should have had you prepared for this.
yeah, I really don't have what the answer was.
Way to go, Mike.
Sorry, I really wasn't prepared.
No, that's my fault. I sprung it on him. Although I had thought about it.
I honestly didn't even think about it, because since we missed last week, I just didn't think about going that far back. Sure I can find out quickly enough.
All right, so before we do that, do you want to do, like, Ben, what have you been playing?
No, I'll at least say what this week's was for the winners.
Okay.
Basically, the guy who won the T-shirt, I had it and I lost it. I apologize. I'm horrible. Okay, was the guy on Twitter, SL Bartley. He basically said he doesn't specifically remember, but there are photos of him playing Q*bert on the 2600 as a baby in a walker.
Yes.
So he won the T-shirt. DJ Random won the Xbox Live game. It was basically, I was giving away a PSN or Xbox Live game of our choice. And he basically came up with Moon Patrol, the arcade version, had to be the late 70s.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
So, 2 extreme throwbacks.
Yep.
As for the week prior, one guy was Jinro, I believe it was Jinro 84, and he basically said the last game he beat was Army of Two. He won the Blurb beta code along with Red Run, who said he beat Battlefield Bad Company 2. And then the main winner was DWB6, and same thing, Bad Company 2 was the last game he beat. Now, for those asking, how do we pick the winners? There's a random number generator. I just put in how many entries we got and hit it, and it brings it up. So that way, if it comes up with people who are listeners of the show or people we know from Pwn, I've got the random number generator. So if it happens, and it's not like I'm playing favorites. Because there are plenty of people that we know that follow us as well. So I just want to get that disclaimer out there. So that's our Twitter contest. I think we're going to skip it for PAX. With everything going on this coming weekend, right. Most of us are going to be pretty busy.
And we'll have more stuff for you guys when we get back from PAX. So.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
So, well, why don't we move into what we've been playing? And since Brian already said Ben, why don't you start us off?
Before I left for Vegas, I started to and try to beat Final Fantasy XIII as fast as I could, and yeah, that was not going to happen, but it was a nice little attempt. So I was playing that before I came to Vegas, and then traveling and whatnot. I brought my PSP Go, and then was playing some Final Fantasy VII, Dissidia, no, not Dissidia, Disgaea, and Tetris on my PSP Go.
What?
So that's what?
Didn't you play the StarCraft 2 beta for a bit?
Oh yeah, played that too.
Well, the problem is with the 2-week thing, I just forget.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about what you didn't forget, Brian.
Well, what I didn't forget is I was actually able to put a few hours into Lord of the Rings Online before getting into hardcore Final Fantasy XIII.
Okay, well, why don't both of you, because you guys have both played it, why don't you both talk about it, what you think of the game? Because I'd like to hear both sides, or both of your point of views.
I actually think we're both about the same part, right, Ben?
How many hours are you in right now?
About 30.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, I'm at 25 right now, and,
I just got Freedom.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Okay,
I move really slow.
Spoilers.
Yes, in a Final Fantasy game, you get to roam around and attack things.
Well, I'm just saying, watch out for spoilers, basically.
No.
Yeah, no.
I really, it's, as a Final Fantasy fanboy, I I absolutely love the game, to be honest with you. I don't care how linear it is, because it's actually, for me anyways, is a nice change of pace to to the open world. You can choose whatever you want. I sort of like all right, here you go. Here's a set path, and just run with it. I'm like, hey, I like it. I really like it a lot. I do like I like the majority of the characters, but not all of them. I do like the leveling system. Well, not really the leveling system that they have, but the what do they call it? I forgot.
Crystarium.
Yes, I like that a lot. How it's like really similar to how it was in Final Fantasy X.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that a lot.
I got a question for you, Ben, because I don't know how much you care as much. How's the voice acting with the English? Because I've heard the Japanese with all the videos from the Japanese PSN and all.
In my opinion, I think it could be better. I think the best voice acting they have on there is like Lightning and Vermeil, maybe Fang. Everyone else, it could use a little work.
Like not up to par of 10, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because I thought 10 had some pretty good voice acting for an English voice acting.
Oh yeah, 10 was pretty good, but I thought in this one they had a few voice actors that did a really good job. Then there's some where they're like, could use some work, you can say. But other than that, it's pretty decent.
Yeah. What about you, Brian? What do you think about from somebody who doesn't do a lot of the Japanese side of things as much?
Right. I guess for me, some of the voice acting choices were kind of weak. And I kind of figured out why Fang and Vanille, why they kind of have these weird Australian accents, and I don't want to spoil why, but I was just kind of shaking my head more or less. And I don't know. I mean, like, in some of the writing, like, I don't know if it was just the localization or just the fact that, it is Final Fantasy, so you have to there is a part of you that has to be like, well, it is going to kind of be emo over dramatic because, well, that's Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing that killed me ever since it went to PS1. Not to knock Final Fantasy VII, but ever since then, it's taken that emo tone where the original ones weren't full of that. It had more of a lighthearted at times.
Yeah. And that's and it's kind of like one of those things where you expect the writing to be this way, and when it is that way, you can't be surprised by that.
Yeah.
But I will admit that I kind of wish I would prefer having the Japanese voice acting and just read subtitles.
Yeah. So you think that Square Enix basically did themselves wrong by not including that on the PS3 version just because they couldn't do it on the 360? Which I think is a shitty excuse in my opinion. But because you're not really taking anything out of the PS3 version, you're basically just porting that over from the Japan.
Yeah,
I don't get their logic there. It just sounds like bullshit to me.
I will say though that
angry Xbox 360 fanboys. That's all.
Yeah, I think they did it not to piss off Microsoft. They I guess since the bundle went on to the 360.
Yeah.
I'm guessing a lot of that had to do with politics.
Sorry to cut in like that, Brian.
No, you're fine. I guess in the end, I don't feel like I don't feel screwed. I just kind of wish it was there, and I would have had to have at least had a choice.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm not missing out because I don't have it. I just, wish I had that opportunity.
I haven't played it yet. I won't say I feel screwed. More like slighted for being promised that and then it being taken out, where you kind of had to ask around. I had to ask around on Twitter to even find out. Because I looked on so many sites, and it wasn't until reviews started popping up that people even started saying, hey, it's not here.
Yeah.
So, I feel slighted. Like, if Square is going to take it out, be honest with your people and say it. I finally found, like, an older article where they kind of, like, allude to it, but they don't flat out confirm it.
Right.
It's like, grow some balls and just tell your fans. It's like they waited on purpose, saying, "Hey, everybody's already pre-ordered. Now we'll get it out there."
And the thing is they could have said it anyway and said, "Sorry, everyone, because we can't get it on the 360. We're not putting it on the PS3."
Yeah.
And everyone would have been like, "Eh."
Yeah, you get it out there early, it'll die down by the time the game comes out. But you put it out at release, you're gonna have a lot of people going, "Wait, what the fuck are you talking about?" You know, like kind of like I was. I was like, I've already pre-ordered this shit for like a year.
Yeah, I'm guessing in either case though, it's not like it would have really crimped sales.
No, but I think it would have. I don't think it would have crimped sales if you got it out earlier. Maybe it doesn't now, but I think a couple people probably, not a couple, but I'm saying a decent percentage probably were like, well, fuck that. Especially the hardcore Japanophiles and stuff. The same ones that feel slighted from Yakuza 3. I mean, there's an audience for that. That's my opinion, but
yeah. Ben, I have a question for you. Do you feel like that there was, at least at the beginning, there was a sense of they were trying to capture new people into the Final Fantasy universe, that there were parts of the beginning where you felt they were not making it easy, but they were helping you along a lot to help introduce new people to the series?
I felt like I was being babied throughout the whole beginning, and with the amount of explanations with the battle system and whatnot. Yeah, I can see where you're going with that, and where they're trying to capture like new audience for like the new Final Fantasy generation and whatnot.
Yeah,
and I felt like I had my hand held throughout the whole entire beginning, and I was like, okay, you can like go now.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering about that because Brad Shoemaker over at Giant Bomb was basically saying he was just hitting the A button for like the first 7-8 hours and getting through the game because it felt like it was just 8 hours of tutorial. I was wondering about that.
They were still dropping tutorials on you into like the 10th hour of the game.
That's ridiculous.
Well, but here's the thing, like, now that I actually have full access to the entire battle system, it's not exactly easy.
I agree, but we're all gamers.
Feel thin, but like, I mean, it's complicated.
Oh, it is, and you know, to be honest with you, I'm glad they still gave you tutorial at 10th hour, where they explain you more stuff about what you can do with the new abilities that you have, and you know, so it makes the battle seems much better, and you know what to do, and then you can do it like almost instantly, knowing fluid. Yeah.
Well, here's my question, because this is actually a concern of mine, because I'm one who likes to go back and play role-playing games over again when I can. Due to this fact that you're saying, like, people are saying the first 8 to 10 hours is still a lot of tutorial, would this really compel you to go back to this game after that? Because you're going to know that they're going to be holding your hand again for another full 8 to 10 hours, and you're going to have to be dealing with this all over again when you go back to it. The
tutorials you can skip?
Yeah, you can skip the tutorial. That's not an issue.
Can you?
Yeah. It says the tutorial thing comes up and says view tutorial, and then you click down and say skip tutorial.
Okay, I'm asking because I'm just going off what people are saying about this game, how the first 10 hours are, and I was just kind of wondering because I haven't been able to play yet. As you guys know, I'm reviewing 3 titles right now. I'm going fucking out of my mind.
Go ahead, Ben. You finish.
No, go ahead.
No, serious.
Oh my God! Somebody go.
No, like the first time through, yeah, you want to read the tutorial because it's, of course, it is a new battle system and you want to get used to it so you can fully utilize it or whatnot. If you're gonna play it again, yeah, you can just skip the tutorial. That's not a problem. You already know what you're gonna do. Just skip it. If you're gonna complain about it that you have to go through tutorial even at the 10th hour, then boo-hoo, wah. Who cares? Because if you don't want to fully utilize it and you just want to grind throughout the whole entire game, be my guest. And that's all I gotta say about that. So.
Yeah. I'd be fine with just skipping the tutorials if I decide to play it again.
Okay. Oh, that's why I'm asking. I just want to know for those who are looking at replayability, Because like me, I'm going back and playing some old JRPGs a lot, or regular RPGs, period, all the time. Because it's always nice to revisit games that you love.
Yeah, like I am with Final Fantasy VII. I forgot some of the stuff that's in the game, so like I'm actually going through the tutorial again in that one. So, it's good to have the tutorial just in case you haven't played in a while. It's always good to have it there.
Yeah. Final Fantasy VII. I will never forget the time I was like, Eris, no! Fuck this game.
Oh, spoilers.
Oh, get the... Screw spoilers. If it's 13 years later, fuck spoilers. I don't give a shit. If you haven't played Final Fantasy VII by now, that's your fucking problem.
I couldn't get past the first disc.
No, when Eris died, I was just blown. I was like, what? No. Fuck that. No. It was probably one of the first games that actually made me sit there and go, fuck no! And then I spent probably 2 hours trying to figure out how to get her materia that dropped in the pond that you can never get, but I still spent 2 hours trying to see if there's a way to get it.
You're not the only one. Like,
I know, this is before like the main thing where you can look up on the internet to find out, this stuff. And I'm like, no, well, I want that to at least give me the materia. That's bullshit.
And the funny part is like, in 7, she had a level 4 limit break, and you're like, wait, how am I supposed to level her up that high where she get that limit break?
I know that game. Oh, and I romanced her, did the whole date thing, and then she dies. Fuck you, Square. I was so pissed back then. Oh my god. Go play Final Fantasy VII. It's $10 on.
Nah.
PSN.
That sounds like I have the discs. I was like, yes, this is gonna be awesome. This sucks, and that was it.
Final Fantasy VII was a very good and solid game. Final Fantasy VI was, of course, better, but Final Fantasy VII was still a very good and solid game.
Final Fantasy VIII?
Worst game ever. Period.
No.
Worst fucking Final Fantasy game.
Come on, Final Fantasy VIII was great.
You want to talk about a game I didn't make it that far. I was like 2 hours into the second disc, and I was like, I'm done. I can't take this emo piece of trash anymore.
Oh, so great.
Like, seriously, if Squall doesn't fucking crack a smile, I'm gonna fucking stab myself. Like, this dude is so fucking annoying. Like, people don't like Renoa. I thought Renoa was okay, but the magic system, the drawing shit.
Oh, I like drawing.
Oh my god! I was like, this is adding time to a game just to say it's longer than it really is.
Oh, see, for me, it played like right into like my play style. Oh. Sometimes it bothers me now in 13 because, you get your score and everything is based on how fast you can beat it. And like how efficient you are, and I'm just like, fuck, I don't want to move this fast. I just want to plan things out and be strategic.
No, fuck Final Fantasy VIII. And I will say that to my deathbed. Fuck Final Fantasy VIII. Had some of the greatest CG sequences, like the whole dancing bit, the whole ballroom dancing bit was awesome. But other than that, that game was fucking awful.
Oh, it killed me. It was great.
No, it was horrible.
You loved it. You didn't. You don't even can admit it.
Ben knows. Ben understands. That was horrible. Anyway,
man.
So you've been playing anything else besides Final Fantasy 13?
I played some Plants vs. Zombies.
On iPhone or just Steam?
On Steam.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You have a BlackBerry. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I just... Man, I started playing some Basebreaker Endless. It's just, man, that's just a fun game to go back to.
Which one?
Plants vs. Zombies.
Oh.
Oh, the Basebreaker part of it.
Oh, I thought you said Facebreaker. I was like, you played that game? I feel sorry.
No, that's really about it.
Alright. Well, I've played quite a bit in the last 2 weeks. Typical WoW, I got up to level 72. I got a very interesting story. So I was on my Hunter alternate, and one of the guys or girls in the guild was like, Muffin Cakes was like, some dude just offered me 100 gold to have sex with him at the inn in Stormwind. I'm like, we're all like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, seriously. He said, just take off your clothes, I'll take off mine. And he's literally just hitting the sit button constantly, going up and down. So we all run to the inn to check it out. So we're all like, we gotta see who this dude is. So we all run in there, and it's me and another guy, and the guy kind of stops and walks away. The guy starts fucking whispering to me. He's like, 100 gold for, I'm like, I'm not even answering. I'm just in the guild going, dude, get him away from me. I'm like, I can't take this shit. The guy ups it to 200 gold. Everybody in the guild's like, fucking do it. I'm like, no. I was like, if I won't sleep even with a female character in Mass Effect 2 or Dragon Age Origins with a guy, I'm not gonna do it in WoW. It was, I won't lie though, 200 gold in WoW is quite a bit. Just to have some guys, I could probably walk away but the one person said, he was like whispering to me like, oh, how do you like that? Is that, I was like, I don't want to deal with that. That's too awkward. I was like, this is not a role-playing server.
Yeah.
So, I just walked away, and I was trying to go to the auction house. Now the guy's like stalking me to the auction house and keeps whispering. I said, fuck it. So I switched characters.
That's,
It's just a funny story. It was very awkward, but kind of funny looking back on it, and I was like, oh my god. So I waited till the guy...
That's not the first time I've heard that, but wow. To have that happen to you, I'm actually laughing right now.
My thing
from
is...
the inside.
If I had done that, who knows if this guy's taking video screenshots and where it shows up. I don't want my fucking tune up on some website involved.
Well, not only that, but your guildies too, because if your guildies is trying to push you towards it, someone's probably got frapping it.
Yeah, so I was like, fuck that. I want to stay away from that. So I just signed on to my main character and watched and waited for the guy to leave town. I came back with my alt and did what I had to do at the warehouse. So... just kind of funny. Ion, I don't know if I talked about this last time, but god damn, levels 1 through 10 got even easier than before. I got my rogue to level 10 within 3 hours of playtime. Where I think, what had it been before? It took us 4 to 6
hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's now took me 4 hours. Or 3 hours. Like, they made the game a bit easier. So... just proof that they're trying to make it a little more friendly to newer people. Kind of messing around. Unlike before where Ben will agree, and our old podcast probably said that it's a grind after you hit level like 12 or 13. I got to level 14 or 15 with my warrior pretty quick. It's a lot easier than it was before. They've upped the experience you get from quests, from monsters. They've made the monsters a little easier to kill. Just basically, I like the fact that they're still working on the game and balancing issues from where in Korea it's more of like a hardcore grind element, and they're taking the game and balancing it for a Western crowd and for what they want. So it's kind of cool in that way. So I put in some time to Ion, and because I have a meeting, well, Ben and I both have a meeting with Perfect World at PAX East. I decided I'd get in some time with that game, and I got myself up to level 22. The game's cool if you're looking for a free MMO. Out of all the ones I've played, I'd have to say Perfect World's probably the best one. It's completely free, and if you want to do more, like, I decided to check out the microtransactions so I have some knowledge when I go to PAX East. So I checked it out, put some money towards it to see what it could get me once I have the money in there. I like the fact that the game's like, you can't buy right away, so you have to wait till you're level 10 to even do microtransactions.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So I did the microtransactions, got my character a schoolgirl outfit. You know it.
Just shaking my head on this end.
I'm just not saying anything.
It's awesome. That's all I gotta say. As well as, the cool thing is, if you're willing to spend the money, you can level faster. I got this thing that gives me, like, 12 times the amount of XP for an hour by killing things. And the cool thing is, unlike WoW or Ion, where you have these things that may give you more XP for that hour, you can actually pause it when you're like, okay, I'm done killing, I gotta go turn in this quest. So you put it on pause. And there's 3 hours of normal XP, which starts running while you pause it. And then you have a 20-hour cooldown period where you get like 50% of XP, but that works as well when you're logged off. So basically, you grind for an hour, you can play for another 3 hours of game time. getting normal, and then you can just say, hey, I'm going to log off till tomorrow and come back at the same time. So it's basically 4 hours, then 20 hours cooldown for this, till you get back to your regular XP. Then you can buy the stuff again if you want to grind 12 times, or it's like 3 times, 5 times, or 12 times, something like that. Depends on how many of these stones you buy with your Zen that you purchase. So it's kind of cool if you're actually planning on putting time in. I figured I'd try it out, and it actually works really quick. I think I went from level 10 to 19 in an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically... I like that, because it's kind of one of those games where it's free, but if you want to give them money through microtransactions, it's kind of like a reward. You pay for it, and you can level faster.
Wow.
I didn't buy a mount because it was way too much money. I got wings for my character, which is cool, so I could fly instead of just walking or running around. The cool thing about Perfect World, you have a double jump, and you jump high as shit. I mean, you can literally climb mountains just by jumping.
Wow. Okay.
And you don't take damage from falling too far. It's actually a cool game for being free. I highly recommend it for anybody who doesn't want to spend $15 a month, but maybe every once in a while you want to throw some money down to make your character look different. Or get wings or a mount. I mean, it's really a cool game, and I highly suggest it. I was actually surprised at how much I enjoyed it. Other than MMOs, played Dragon Age Origins Awakening expansion pack. Oh, it's a mouthful. That's what she said.
No, that's not really.
Oh, it is. No, anyway. So, everybody knows I was big on Dragon Age Origins. I loved it. I put in 37 hours into that game, had a blast creating my character, developing relationships with the people that you're with. Not as deep as Mass Effect 2. The choices weren't as deep as Mass Effect 2, but it was still a great game. So I got in the expansion pack after I bought Battlefield Bad Company 2. I got a $20 coupon for credit, so I was like, fuck it. I put it towards it. I paid $17 for the expansion. So you'll get 20 to 30 hours of playtime in this, depending if you do everything. I didn't, and I wish I had. Because as you get towards the end of the game, you have to make some tough decisions, kind of like Mass Effect 2. To the point where I was like, shit, what do I do? I was in like the Goose X chat room going, what the fuck do I do? I don't know which one to pick. I don't know who do I... Oh shit, who do I let die or hopefully pray that they live? I'm like, oh god. Like, it was cool, like... But the new characters are cool. Some of them don't have that much personality, though. For the most of the characters are cool. There's one or two that are kind of like throwaways. I was like, I don't fucking give a shit about you. So, only one person from Dragon Age Origins is in your party in the second one. I mean, in this expansion. That was kind of a bummer, and I didn't like the fact that, the person who I romanced in the first one, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to say who it is, didn't show up in this one, and it wasn't even mentioned till the end when they were showing some text on what happens after the expansion's over. I was kind of disappointed in that. I would think that whoever you romanced, if it was possible, depending on what happened at the outcome of the last game, they'd be one of the ones in your party. A little disappointed in that, but the conversations that your party has while you're walking around are just as good as in the first one. They do replay from time to time, but I'd find myself about to enter a new area and I'd stop just so I could listen to them. And some of them are pretty damn funny. Again, I don't like to give away things, but just because of the spoiler aspect, but you can take people into your party, or just like before, you could be like, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you. Like, so there's different things that can happen and how the story plays out. It's actually a really interesting story in my opinion. And I don't know if there's a level cap. I made it to like level 31 or 32. I was kind of shocked. I thought maybe they'd put 5 or 10 levels on there. But I made it to 31 or 32, so I don't know what the cap goes to. There are some glitches and problems, though. This is
BioWare? problems?
Yeah, this is one of the things at the Goose X meet that I was saying earlier. I was really hyping them up, and maybe it's just because the expansion is not one of the main teams working on it. I don't know how it goes, but it seems like maybe they were even rushed by EA since they're now the parent company of BioWare since Mass Effect 1 came out when they took over. But it's not polished, and there's some things that were not finished. At one point, one of the girls was talking that eventually joined my party, but like spikes shot up out of her hand for a second as she was moving her while she was talking. I was like, we're not really paying attention. I was like, what the fuck was that? I was like, was there spikes coming out of her fists? And I was like, whoa. Another part, I went into this little area, and the map was the mini map up in the screen instead of showing you the path and all. It was completely just a black circle with like a gray triangle going outwards that showed which way you were facing. They didn't even finish the mini map for this area. Also at a part where I went up onto basically a city walls, I was up on top, and there was these enemies at the bottom that all of a sudden I went into battle mode and they didn't see me at all, but I saw them and it wouldn't let me target anyone. And I couldn't select the door to get down, so I had to reload an hour's worth of gameplay.
Ooh.
And go luckily, by that point, I knew what I had to do, so it was like 30 minutes worth to get back. But it's still an hour of my time I lost because I couldn't select the door that I needed to get back down from. That was kind of annoying. It felt like this was a rush product in some aspects. None of it was really a big hindrance to the overall experience. This is definitely a must-play for anybody who loved Dragon Age Origins. Could it be better? Yes. It could be more polished, more sound, but it's not. But if you can get it, I mean, it's $40 for 20 to 30 hours of gameplay. If you think about it, you're spending $60 on a God of War where it's like 9 hours. So I have to recommend it for those who like Dragon Age Origins. The cool thing about this, if you're not on PC but consoles, and you buy the disc, you can play it standalone. You don't need Dragon Age Origins. So if you're like, well, this is cheaper, I want to try this out first, you can. And unless you do the download on Xbox Live or PSN, then you have to have the disc. Same with PC, you have to have the disc. I mean, the original game for PC. What else was I going to say? There's one more thing I was going to say about the game. God damn, I forgot. Maybe I should stop drinking this beer. Which I didn't mention in the intro. To anyone wondering what I'm drinking, it's a Colossus from Dewclaw Brewing Company. 21% alcohol. Brewed with coriander, orange peel, cinnamon, apple, and honey. At first it was extremely sweet, and I was like taken aback by it, but it's actually pretty good. Gotta recommend it if you're in Maryland. So yeah, that's Dragon Age. It's definitely worth looking into. Oh, here's the thing I was going to tell you. If you have the DLC for the original Origins, play that before going into Awakening. I didn't realize after playing Awakening I couldn't go back to it with my character. Once you import your character, that's it. So I have $5 worth of DLC I can't play. Oh, I wish I'd read about that before. Other than that, I'm playing a game, Fragile Dreams, for the Wii. A slower paced game. Not a long game. It's about 12 hours. RPG elements. It's kind of cool. The flashlight mechanics and all as you're walking around. It's not all you use to battle people. You actually have like a stick, a sword, stuff similar to that. Unfortunately, that can break.
Really?
I've been reading and people say it can break. I'm 2.5 hours in there. Nothing's broken on me yet, so I probably just jinxed myself. But
good job, Mike. Good job.
yeah, my arms are getting tired from holding it like a flashlight. I don't know if it's the way my sensor bar is set up on the TV, but it just felt like I had to hold it up even when I sat it down. Sometimes it wouldn't fully register. Cool game so far. I like the story. Here's a knock towards Final Fantasy 13. Got to take the shot. Here's a Wii game that can manage to put Japanese and English voice acting into it on a Wii disc, and Final Fantasy 13 on a fucking Blu-ray couldn't manage to keep the Japanese voice acting in it. There's a problem there. In Fragile Dreams, though, there's something cool. You have this thing called, I think it's called a PF pack or something. It's like this personal frame. You walk around with it. It's like got this female voice, and it's talking to you, but it talks like it's a real person. And it'll tell you, be careful in this area. Hey, this key has a 75% chance of being the right key to open this door. But it's like you're talking about certain things, and it sounds like this PF pack is getting, like, jealous. And it's like, you don't need her. You have me. But it's kind of funny the way the dialogue goes. It's not like a creepy way. It's just kind of funny the way the interaction is. And I kind of like the game. We'll see how I feel by the end. Because it feels like a very sad style anime. Because it's kind of like everybody in the world's kind of disappeared. But you meet this like silver-haired girl. I'm not even gonna give away a name. And now you're like, oh crap, I could touch her. She wasn't just like a mysterious figure that disappeared when I came close. So you're trying to find her because it's somebody else that's alive. So it's kind of cool how you're trying to work out what's going on in the world, plus trying to find this person that's kind of like you, stuck alone in this world where everybody else is kind of passed on. So it's very Japanese. It's a very cool game so far. I can't wait to keep going with it. Look for my review on that before we head out to PAX, hopefully. And the only other thing I've been playing is Suikoden for my PSP Go. Always go back to the classics. Great game. But I don't need to get into that one. I mean, that's from PS1 days. So, Ben, why don't you give us your bargain bin pick?
Oh, well, my bargain bin pick for the week is coming from Gamefly.com. So if you have a membership, of course, you need to get the whatever percentage off, depending on how long you have your membership for. My pick is the Beatles Rock Band. It's going for $25.19. So definitely go and pick it up if you're a Beatles fan or a rock band fan in general. It's
how much?
$25.19.
Not bad. I just had a $5 off coupon, but I used it on Cross Edge for the PS3 instead.
So there you guys go. There you go, folks. And on the DL with Brian.
Yep. So today we're going to go with, on the Xbox 360 Arcade, we're going to go with Perfect Dark.
What?
Yeah, I knew Mike would be kind of excited about it.
Hell yeah, that's one of the best
it
ever.
is 800 points, which is $10, and or whatever their funny conversion to real money is. But yeah, I mean, it's a classic.
Definitely is. I have to say, there are only 5 good games for the Nintendo 64, and this is one of them.
Okay, now I'm curious to hear what the other 4 are. Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, no. GoldenEye.
Ocarina of Time.
Bomberman 64. Nothing better. I mean, Bomberman 64 was a game 4 of us were playing together and getting so loud with that they called the security police on us in the Air Force because we were making so much noise. The other one was WCW versus NWO World Tour.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
We used to actually go home for lunch in the Air Force, and we'd be there for 2.5 hours and finally head back to work. We spent most of the time playing that game during lunch. And the other one was, the next one after WCW NWO was when WWE got the license, was WrestleMania 2000. Because you actually fully create characters instead of just changing the look of the current ones.
Right.
So, there ain't no fucking Zelda games on my top 5, please.
No, Ocarina of Time is definitely on there.
Not since Super Nintendo.
It's okay to admit it, that you loved it.
No, it looked like shit.
It was on N64. There wasn't really anything that looked that great.
GoldenEye and Perfect Dark looked fine to me.
I think maybe you should go back and take a look.
I'll play them again. Let's go.
Oh God, they need.
Do I have to put you two in a corner?
Seriously though, I mean, like they do not hold up that well.
They do.
Oh. Okay. Whatever. Anyway, what's the Netflix?
I just like pissing off Zelda fans. Sorry. Netflix picks. All right, this is gonna be a controversial one because if you are a politically correct person, stop fucking listening right now. But then again, if you listen to this podcast, you can't be. It is the comedy special of Lisa Lampanelli. Take It Like a Man. Nicola and I actually watched this over the past 2 days. Half of it one day, half of it the other. She is one of the most offensive comics, but funny as shit. I am not going to repeat any of her comedy on here for fear it's probably worse than anything I've ever said. She talks about every race, every sexual orientation, whether you're young or old. She goes at it, and she doesn't care. If you're in the crowd, you're getting made fun of.
Nice.
Oh, she's fucking great. You gotta see it. You've probably seen her or anybody who's watched the Comedy Central roasts. She tends to show up on those.
Wasn't she in the which one was it? The last one she was in. What's that?
She was in the William Shatner one. She was
that's a good one.
I didn't watch that one. I think I saw the Larry the Cable Guy.
I didn't see that one. But she's a heavier white woman who they're always making jokes about her being with black guys.
Yeah.
The roast.
That's
And trust me, she talks about that a lot. Hilarious. It's about an hour long. You gotta watch it. If you don't give a shit and you're not politically correct and you say, fuck all the politically correct people, we're just gonna have fun and laugh at ourselves. Watch that shit. So, great show. Awesome. I mean, great special. You just gotta see it. So, that's my Netflix picks for the week. So we're gonna jump into topic discussions. We've got 3 this week. First one is from an article I wrote earlier this week that, in the last 2 weeks, that generated some interesting feedback on the site. Modern Warfare 2 DLC was confirmed with pricing and the contents. So, for those who don't know, Activision has called the new Modern Warfare 2 DLC the Stimulus Package, where you spend $15 to stimulate their wallets. Oh, I'm sorry. You spend $15 for 3 new maps and 2 recycled maps from Call of Duty 4. Basically, the new maps are called Storm, Salvage, and Bailout, while they brought in Crash and Overgrown from Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Crash, cool. Overgrown, really, that one fucking sucks. You're basically...
You actually spent the money on this?
Fuck no.
Oh, just check.
I already got rid of Modern Warfare 2. I'm back at Call of Duty 4, where I can play Crash and Overgrown for free. There's some points in the article I brought up, which was basically when Call of Duty 4 brought out their first map pack, it was 4 maps for $10. All new, nothing recycled from other games. It was $10 or 800 Microsoft points. Basically, you had 4 brand new maps. Now they're saying, here's 3 new maps and 2 recycled that they just graphically enhanced a little. Changed nothing to them for $15. So basically you're paying $15 for 3 new maps, because honestly I don't consider those 2 maps worth $5. So, because you can play them for free if you're smart enough to still own Call of Duty 4. And some people did not like that. I basically got a... Modern Warfare 2 is great, so fuck off, bitches. Oh, balls, can't you ruddy Jews give this game a break? These mates got fired. I didn't know I was Jewish. Even one of our Pwn friends, Ace, basically said that World at War got 3 maps for $10, so $15 for 5 isn't too bad. Ace, I know you listen to this podcast, but I gotta say, jump off the bandwagon, please. You're not getting 5 maps for $15. You're getting 3 maps for $15 and 2 that you can go play on another game without paying for. I don't know. I just think Activision, to call this a stimulus package, which is usually meant to help stimulate the consumer, it's kind of like I said, a kick in the nuts. It's like, hey, we're going to have to pay for all this lawsuit nonsense with the 2 guys we just fired, so we're going to charge you $15 fucking.
Well, it just makes no sense why they want to give you 2 maps that you can play for free on the first Modern Warfare and then give you 3 new ones for $15.
Well, this is Activision. You got to remember, this is the same company that said, we don't want to put out anything that we can't push out on an annual basis. They don't give a shit. They want money, and unfortunately, I'm going to say this, we as gamers have allowed this to happen. We keep paying for DLC that is $10, so they're going to push it to $15. If we keep paying $15, they're going to keep putting it out for $15. Then some company's going to say, well, they paid $15 for 3 maps plus 2 recycled, so let's put out 4 new maps for $20 and give them 2 recycled. I mean, you're just going to keep getting this where they push it up a little more with not really giving you much more incentive. Till people just say, fuck you, I'm not paying anymore.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, everyone will say, screw you, I'm not paying for this, but yet people will still pay for it anyways.
Yep.
It's like, the whole boycotting Modern Warfare 2 or something like that for the PC because they had no dedicated server. Yet people still bought the game and played it.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the best pictures ever, because as much as I agreed with their boycott and all, to see all those people in that group, Steam group, that said boycott Modern Warfare 2, yet, all of them were playing Modern Warfare 2. It was like, dude, really? Are you fucking retarded?
It's just, we as gamers are either, one, the people that, that understands it or doesn't understand it are not great doesn't think great consumer base anyways, because they're like, oh, blah, 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 this is BS, oh, I'm going to buy it the day off.
Well, we had some interesting comments other than the ones that went against me. I think
pretty much everyone.
No. There's only a few that went against. A lot of people came and kind of backed me up on what I said. Shockman, who wrote us a letter that I read earlier, basically said, while this game had good promise, a lot of what's wrong with it is the result of bad decisions and lack of attention. No dedicated servers for PC, and the glitches found across all platforms have killed this game for many. This game started with solid ideas, but the end result fails. Snappy says, if anything, I won't buy these maps just to protest active greed firing these devs. Puerto Rico Storm says, no Spec Op maps? This is a blatant attempt to cash in before they lose the franchise in court. How many bugs will be in this one, too? Battlefield Bad Company 2 all the way. Anonymous commentator says, agreed, but the name is clever. Instead of giving money to us gamers who need it most, they want us to give money to their CEOs who have been killing their companies. And finally, Red Run says, Modern Warfare 2 is a spectacular game. From day of release, the game resided in the disc tray of my Xbox 360 for many weeks. What had changed all this happens to become what changed all this happens to become like the next Halo 3, a hardcore game plagued with racist 12-year-old cheaters, modders, and glitchers. Setting the price point to $15 for these 5 maps in the map pack with no new game modes to boot is an insult to the hardcore gamers who want a good reason to stay on. I mean, it's nice to hear it's funny to hear the people besides Ace. Ace actually at least said some legitimate points, but the other 2 comments that went against it was either fuck you bitches or you ruddy Jews. Like, it just shows who's paying for this are the freaking idiot, ignorant bastards who would prefer to insult those who don't agree with them than actually come up with actual, points. Like the people who were all against the stimulus package. I mean, Activision has some real suckers out there that'll keep paying the $15.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sorry. Speak with your wallet instead of giving them reason to speak with theirs. all I have to say. It's time to wake up, people, and look at here's an example, BioWare and even Bethesda. BioWare putting out DLC you can buy $5, $10, but you have actual content that lasts a good bit of time. Bethesda puts out content at $10 each one, but give you, 5 to 10 hours of playtime each time? I'm not a fan of their games because I think they're clunky and glitchy, but they give you reason to buy their DLC. You're getting good content for it. I mean, Activision is basically telling you guys they don't care about you. They just want your money. You gotta wake up and stop giving it to them. EA used to be the bad guy. Activision has now killed EA's old mottos, and
Activision is making EA look good right now.
well, EA's looked good for a while. They at least try new things, but Activision basically said, "Oh, EA used to be the bad guy. We're gonna be the evil villain."
Yeah.
I mean,
You're not gonna be outdone by that.
yeah. So that's basically the Modern Warfare 2 DLC discussion. PAX East is coming up.
What?
Brian's not going to make it out there, but Ben and I will. We'll be going out, hanging out with people from BitMob. I think Adele and Rich are both going to be there, so we're going to hang out with them. You guys remember them from Gametopia. We're going to hang out with the Average Joe Gamer guys. Got to say what's up to them. Can't wait to get out there and hang out. I've met Eric. Yeah, I've met Eric. I haven't met the other ones. And Ben, I know you haven't met anybody yet, so that'll be good. What?
I don't know. It just sounded funny. Like,
oh, sorry.
Then I know you haven't met anybody, but...
No, that's not what I meant. You fucking know it. Don't be an ass. That's my job.
Oh, no, because we're just, if we weren't there and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, I think Brian's just jealous.
Good old days.
But, let's see. Goozex guys are holding a little breakfast meetup at a Dunkin' Donuts, so we'll be hanging out with them, and a bunch of Goozex traders will be there too. I was surprised at how many people at the Goozex CAG meet are going to PAX East. There's a Pokemon bar crawl Thursday night. I heard bar crawl and I was like, okay, I'll go.
Look, I'm down.
Poke what? Bar? Okay. FFXIII.com is holding the Gamers Gone Wild party. Definitely hitting that up. Sounds like it's going to be a good one. Other than that, Ben's got a lot of appointments. I've got some decent appointments. We're going to be seeing stuff like Alienware, Triton, Perfect World International, Alpha Protocol, stuff like that. So, hopefully we'll also be picking up a lot of swag like we hope, and we'll be pushing it back out during our Friday contest, so.
But there won't be anything this week, right?
No. There won't be a Twitter contest this week. We'll be at PAX too busy dealing with other things, and I'm the one who has all the swag, so. I got a lot of stuff still to give away. I got some Rogue Warrior, I'm sorry, shirts.
I have some Rogue Warrior, I'm sorry.
That game is awful. But the shirts aren't too bad. But when I give away the Rogue Warrior shirts, I'm going to have to ask if people are 18 and up, because it says fuck on the front.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we'll see about that. There's some Wii Frisbees I still have to give away. So that's that. Look for us at PAX East. Ben will be wearing shirt.woot.com shirts. I'll be wearing shirt.
Are they going to be there at the?
I don't know, but Ben just
a free shirt always.
Ben just bought a bunch of shirts from there, so
yeah.
Some I owned. I was like, hey, stop raiding my closet.
But I was just on a spending spree. I was like, whatever, and just started buying shirts.
I'll be rocking some shirts from designedbyhumans.com, so pretty sweet ones too. So, let's see. So why don't we get to our topic of discussion we didn't make it to the last time. We were going to discuss, is spring the new fall? As anybody who follows release dates, you have to know that there's a shit ton of games in the past couple of years that are coming out early in the year, right around spring, if not right before. Last year saw games like Street Fighter IV, Resident Evil 5 come out. This year we've already had Final Fantasy 13, God of War 3, Resonance of Fate, Yakuza 3, BioShock 2, Dante's Inferno. Even before that, at the beginning of the year, was Bayonetta, Darksiders, Mass Effect 2. So, is springtime, or right before spring, the new fall for the gaming industry? It seems companies are starting to notice that selling your game in November is not the best idea. Push it out when the market is less saturated, but unfortunately it's starting to become just as saturated. But it seems like companies are willing to take that risk of pushing their game to the beginning of a year, not at the end, for the Christmas sales. Who wants to take the first crack at this and give your opinion on the subject?
I will.
Okay.
I'll go first. I think companies are finally realizing. You're probably going to go more on the oversaturation point. I'm going to go from a business standpoint. I think they're finally realizing that the average age of your gamer is between 30 and 35 years old, meaning these individuals are no longer waiting for their parents for the one time a year when they're likely to buy a video game for them, Christmas, is no longer applies, and that these people have their own, disposable income that they are going to spend 12 months out of the year, and not just during these 2 or 3 months at the end. So no longer are companies relying upon this magical second quarter that has Christmas in it and the beginning of the third quarter where they're hoping their game has some legs to basically make their entire yearly budget in the black. They're realizing that if we make, 3 solid titles, we could put one during Christmas time, one during quarter 3, which is the first quarter of the year, first 3 months of the calendar year, and then either one at the first quarter or one in the last quarter, and have a better opportunity to not only sell more units, but have DLC that could then be sold to extend the life of the game and sell more copies. And with DLC, a lot of times that is keeping games in people's pockets and they're not being resold.
Yeah.
So from a business standpoint, they're finally like, oh, shit, there's all this money out here that we're not getting because we're still living on in the same business processes that we've been using since 1995.
Probably earlier than that, though. Probably 80s.
But you know what I was just picking. Mm-hmm. But, they're saying, okay, well, obviously we should get with the times and, tap into all this money that's just sitting out here, and I think it's funny that they're finally catching up to this now, and soon enough they'll finally catch up to the fact that not every gamer is, some loser guy that has no chance of ever kissing a girl sitting in his mother's basement.
Yeah.
That a lot of now are either men or women who have full-time jobs, have significant others or spouses, and have families of their own that are the ones that are teaching their children to play video games. And when they finally realize that their demographic is not this very small sect of people, then, I think we'll see another shift in business practice. But for right now, we should just be happy with the fact that they figured out that we all have full-time jobs and we're going to be spending the money and we're willing to pay it year-round.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go the other route of saturation. Sorry. Beer's talking sometimes. Basically, what happened, I think 2008 is probably the best example of this. You had a lot of games come out from September through December in 2008. You had stuff like Tales of Vesperia, Saints Row 2, let's see, Little Big Planet, World at War, Mirror's Edge, Dead Space. When did Gears of War 2?
Mm-hmm.
You had a lot of these games thrown at once, all high profile, but some of the high profile games that weren't proven yet were shuffled back. Mirror's Edge didn't sell as well as EA hoped. Dead Space didn't sell as well as EA hoped. Why? Because they were thrown in against these larger things like World at War, a Call of Duty game that you knew was going to sell big. Gears of War 2, you knew was going to sell big. So what happens? EA doesn't sell as well, and they have to almost look at over this past year if they're even going to continue this franchise that a lot of people loved. Whether it was Dead Space or Mirror's Edge. So to me, it's kind of like, hey, we've got this franchise that's brand new IP. Why put it up against these juggernauts when everything's just, there's so much going on at once at this time? Push it back. Let's leave it for another time. Because look at BioShock. It came out, May, June? And it sold great. It was a huge game. I think the only new IP that's come out recently that sold well, and I'm not going to include Dragon Age Origins here because it's a BioWare game, and we all know how BioWare is held standard-wise, so you knew the game was going to sell. But Borderlands was one of the few that actually make it through in an oversaturated time. But that's rare. New IPs rarely do as well as Borderlands do, and I think companies know that now. So you're now watching them push it back. If an IP like Resident Evil 5, it's been a while since the last one, don't just throw it out there in the middle of fall. What'd Capcom do? They said, no, we're going to put this out in spring. Did great. Street Fighter 4, it's been forever since we got a true sequel to Street Fighter. They were like, well, we could throw it out in the fall and see how it does, or let's throw it out at the beginning of the year and see what happens. Boom, does great. Bayonetta this year did well at the beginning of the year. Darksiders was a sleeper hit at the beginning of this year.
Yep.
Which, if they released that in the fall, it would have gone fucking nowhere. EA just, and like I said, EA learned from their mistakes. Battlefield Bad Company 2. Are you going to throw that out before Modern Warfare 2 like they were originally going to do? And do the thing where companies are like, well, let's hope we can at least get some sales while people wait for for the next game. No, they said, we're going to wait and see what happens. And not to bash Modern Warfare 2 a little more, but with all the glitches and hacking and all that that's been going on and the bad press with firing the guys, EA made the better move by waiting because they used all that against Infinity Ward to sell their own product. I mean, instead of trying to do these duels and fights against similar products, they're like, well, some of the companies are like, well, we'll let this one come out and we'll wait to see how they do to see how we push ours. Mm-hmm. And now you're no longer having an oversaturation in the fall, but it's more of all the companies spacing it out. I've bought more games at this point of the year than I did last fall. I mean, I think it's been more oversaturated this year in the spring than it was last year in the fall. So.
Easily.
Yeah. That's my take. I mean, like I said, I'm working on 3 reviews right now. With more coming out. Ben?
I have to agree with you guys, both you guys actually, because if you look at it as just like a regular casual gamer, right? And you generally look towards the fall to see what major game is going to be coming out. You're not going to expect the spring, maybe even the summertime, like with Batman Arkham Asylum that came out in August, and just to see where I think they're trying to test the water to see which is a good time throughout the whole year when to release a game. And to be honest with you, as a gamer, just if you think it's a good time anywhere in the calendar year, go for it. I don't see why not. I mean, generally, yes, fall is a good time because it's right before Christmas and whatnot, and like around now where spring just hit and whatnot, it's also a good time. But let's not saturate these two times. Let's just spread out the games even further, please, so that we can have like a constant flow of like great games throughout the whole entire year instead of like good games in the fall and let's have like a backlog until we're done with it during the wintertime, and then once spring's hit, let's have another backlog until like after E3, and then have like the summer of like doing nothing.
Yeah,
so I'm just hoping that they would maybe spread it out throughout the whole entire year. But
I agree, because one of the things that's always been weird to me is why more games don't come out like right before spring break, or the spring break period, or the beginning of summer. I know, like Brian said, it's now a lot of 30 to 35-year-olds, but there's still a younger demographic. Why aren't games coming out when kids get out of college, when kids get out of high school or regular school, and have more time to play? But it's never been that way. Bioshock, Metal Gear Solid 4 did it, and somewhat with GTA. It was more April, but kind of pushed it to that right before summertime thing. Where it's like, hey, we're going to put out this big game right before people can actually sit down and take the time to put into these games. I mean, you're almost now with the spring is kind of like the new fall. Look at all the games we've got right now. It's fucking ridiculous. Where we'd be sitting right now more often over the years going, well, what's going to happen at the next E3? What's going to be announced? But it's kind of like, I don't hear many people talking about E3 right now because there's so much shit to still play.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, especially with some of the new titles that's going to be coming out before E3. I think, isn't Metroid and other items should be coming out before then?
No, I actually think it might be right after.
Is it right after?
Yeah, I believe it's right after.
Well, like, even then, okay, you have a Metroid game that's coming out right after E3, which is like that should be summertime, wouldn't it? Yeah, summertime. So that's perfect. That'd be perfect time to, play a high title, especially a Nintendo game, for once, where people are actually excited to play. But, there's games that should be coming out, that's coming out generally real soon, that we're still excited for and whatnot, and like, normally right around about now, especially with E3, like, a few months away, we'll be talking about what we're going to be talking about E3, what we're going to be seeing, and blah, 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 around this time. No, we're still talking about games that's been out, and that's soon going to be coming out, instead of just talking about E3.
Right.
Yeah. Well, here's something interesting about the whole thing with E3. I've been like, what are they going to show at E3? Like, what's going to be announced at E3 that, like, I'm like, there's so much coming out right now. I'm like, what are they going to show that's going to really pique my interest? I can't think of many games that are going to be like, oh my god, we've got this, and I'm going to be like, oh shit, I didn't even think about that. But it's kind of like, what are you going to do?
Knowing you, Mike, you'd probably be waiting for Project Natal.
No. I mean, what are you going to do?
Mike,
Tell me more about Fable
Natal.
3? You're going to tell me Gears of War 3, which everybody's expecting anyway? And even, let's speak of Gears of War 3. That's now slated for a spring 2011 release. That used to be November, October. Mm-hmm. We're putting out a new Gears game. But no, why? Because you have Halo Reach coming out in November, so Microsoft's like, well, we'll push Gears to spring. I mean, talk about brilliant. You have Reach coming out now, and 6 months later, pretty much, you're going to have another Microsoft exclusive, Gears 3. I mean, that's just, they're looking at the money go cha-ching, 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 cha-ching for a full year cycle. I mean, they're finally wisening up to how the industry needs to go with the consumer base they have now.
Which is, if they continue to do it this way, great. That's great for us because we'll have an entire year of just playing great games.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the beauty of it.
So, I hope they continue this route instead of just, we'll just push it in the fall. And I hope they stop that trend. And then maybe if they continue to, release high-end titles, maybe between one high-end title and to the other, maybe we'll pick up some of the smaller titles that no one really hears about, and then, maybe find a nice sleeper title or whatnot, and then we'd be like, you have to pick this up.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So
I agree. And one thing you saw this past fall was games just getting pushed back and pushed back. Bayonetta was pushed back. Battlefield Bad Company 2 got pushed back from the fall to early this year. Alpha Protocol got pushed back. All these games were they were like, you know what? A lot of people chalked it up to Modern Warfare 2, but I think a lot of these companies realized, you know what? We're going to make more money just by putting this out later. There's no reason to rush these out right now.
And so, I'm glad some of these titles are waiting, making sure that the games are done the way that they want it to be done, so that they're not be buggy, glitchy, or anything like that.
I'm telling you right now, Bayonetta, I would have never picked that up if it had come out in the fall. I had too much to play, and right around the time it came out in January, I was like, you know what? I don't have much to play right now. I'll check out Bayonetta. It was something to do until Mass Effect 2 came out. And I'm so glad I did it, and it wouldn't have happened if it was just like the old times where everything had to be out in the fall. And it just proved that the companies are right in their latest business models. I mean, there's a lot of games like that I probably wouldn't bother going for if they came out in the fall or around the times there's a bunch of other titles. Honestly, spring has become such the new fall that I have Final Fantasy 13 and I have to listen to you guys talk about it. And because of 3 other games I really wanted to play and review, that's being pushed back to maybe I'll be able to play it finally next month.
Yeah, after PAX and everything, I have 3 games that I want to play and finish. One of them is 13, the other one is Heavy Rain, and the last one is God of War 3.
Yeah. Oh.
So,
go ahead.
It's crazy. Normally it's one big title, I'll play and finish and then wait for the next one. But it's especially around this time. But now it's okay, 3 high-end titles that's sitting at home, and I can't play it yet until after PAX.
Right.
So it's crazy, and and even afterwards, there's going to be more games that are coming out in April. I don't remember what games are coming out in April, but I'm sure there's be plenty of more, and I'm going to be this is crazy, I can't keep up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
Which means we're going to need more writers.
Yes. If you know anybody who wants to write, please send them our way.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah. Actually, I was about to say something about the,
Sorry.
No, that's alright. I was about to say something when Ben and I clashed for a second. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. I gotta stop drinking. And working so much.
What? Oh,
well, not drinking, working so much and then drinking, because I'm kind of But, it had to do with all the games coming up and all. And I forgot. God dang it, I apologize to listeners who are sitting there listening to me be an idiot. More than normal.
They're used to it.
More than normal! God damn it. Well, while I think about it, I do want to say one thing, a little off topic. As many may know, David Ellis left 4 Guys 1 Up. Well, 1 Up, period. And the 4 Guys 1 Up podcast. He's moving on to the Halo team over at Microsoft 343 Industries.
Yeah, I saw a lot about that.
So, I gotta say one thing. Listen to the latest Rebel FM with him on there. He is so much unlike himself on the 1 Up podcast. Where he's kind of proper, doesn't say a lot of controversial shit. He says a lot of fucked up shit to the point where Arthur is bleeping out a lot of what he says. Like, I kept hearing beep, beep, beep. And Arthur at one point goes, look, I'm sorry for all these bleeps, but you can blame David.
That's funny.
It's funny as shit. I remember what I wanted to say. I mean, we have all this stuff going on with these games. I have a beta. I can't even say what the beta is because somebody supposedly said something on Twitter and got banned from it. So I'm gonna start.
Really?
Yeah, I'm in a beta right now. And I've only been able to play it for like an hour or two because I have just too much other shit going on. So we'll see if I can get some more time in this next week because I think that's all the time I have. So we'll see what happens with that.
That should be fun and interesting.
Yeah. So, well, actually, I only have till Wednesday. Or Tuesday.
So wait, when do you guys leave for?
Thursday morning.
This Thursday morning.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Not too early because we can't check in till 3, so kind of will be hitting some rush hour probably.
Yeah, I'll be flying into Baltimore, or I'll be probably landing in Baltimore Wednesday at around 3:30.
Okay.
Somewhere around there, and then then we leave the next day because I fly back to Detroit Tuesday morning. So
I thought it was Monday morning or Monday afternoon.
No, it's Tuesday morning.
I'm gonna stab you because you told me it was Monday evening.
What?
You told me you were leaving Monday afternoon.
No, I leave Tuesday morning, and I'll be at home around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and then I fly out the next day.
To come back.
No, wait, what?
What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about leaving Vegas?
Yeah, I'm leaving Vegas on Tuesday.
I thought you were talking about leaving Baltimore.
Worst conversation ever.
Sorry. This is a conversation that's happened off the podcast, but fuck it, I don't give a shit. I'm not editing this.
You never
edit anyways. But I leave Vegas Tuesday morning, be in Detroit Tuesday afternoon, and I leave to Baltimore the next day.
Yeah.
We clear? All right, we're clear.
Okay. We're good, I swear. Ha ha.
All right.
Ha 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 ha.
So rate us and review us on iTunes.
Yep.
Zoom Marketplace.
Yes, please do. Who knows? Maybe if people keep rating and reviewing us on iTunes or Zune, I'll start looking around and maybe I'll randomly pick somebody for some free DLC.
What up?
Content or a free game. See what happens. But you gotta rate and review, and we gotta have at least double digits on both. Actual writing, not just people hitting 5 stars and then leaving. One actual writing on it.
Yeah, we want to actually pretend you actually listen.
Yeah, I don't care if you fucking make lies and say, this is the best podcast ever! Oh! Or say Mike is the classiest host ever.
Oh, yeah, then we know you're lying.
But I don't care. You give us 5 stars, that's all that matters. And then I will give you a game. Just brown nose a little, please.
Yeah, it'll work.
Are you still drinking over there?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty big bottle.
Oh, jeez.
I'm trying to see what the size of the bottle is. It's 1.5 pints. Well, I've been drinking slowly. It's too sweet to drink a lot, and plus it's 21% alcohol. So I've been kind of like just chilling with it. So yeah, rate and review us. Don't forget, one thing I hope we can do, Brian Ben, if you could take screenshots of your characters in your MMOs.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to post them in the article with this one. So people can see what our characters look like in our MMOs.
Cool.
Just your main characters, no alts really. So, just pick your main characters, throw them up, take a screenshot. I gotta decide which one's gonna be my main character and Ion, I guess. Because I have no idea. So.
Alright.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to show you guys what we have in each game so you can check us out. So don't forget to hit us up on Twitter, Pwned, whatever. Quiglin, Church 4252, and I'm G Nitro. You can find Quiglin on Lotrow. Server name.
Arkenstone. You can find me as Malchior, Malchior.
Ben.
You can find me on the Kill Jaden server in World of Warcraft. Was it him or her? Oh no, is it him? It's Zhang Xing. I'm drawing a blank. I'm like, wait, which one is the female out of the two? And then you're gonna also find me on the Frostmoor. Was it Frostmoor? Or Frostwolf? Frostwolf?
Frostwolf.
Yeah, Frostwolf with Kotoha, Kotoha. Those are the two characters I have in World of Warcraft. I'm not sure if my Star Trek Online character is still up right now. I haven't been able to log on in quite a while, so not sure. So,
all right,
there you go.
Well, you can find me on Ion server. Main server I'm playing on is Lumiel as Miyuki, warrior, or I just started up a rogue Kodoka. So both on the Elios side. WoW is Frostwolf. You can find me on there as Chisame, Alliance in the Portals Guild, as well as on same name on Kill Jaden in the Rad Nerd Guild.
What's up, Rad Nerd Guild?
Yeah.
Girl, yeah.
Can't really remember my perfect world name right now. I'll get you guys that later.
Yeah,
I can't remember if it's Chisame or what, so I'll have to get that. I just was playing along. I think it's Chisame, but I could be wrong. So, but I am playing the Tide something. You can see how much time I put into this game. Tide Birth or something. Perfect World Tide. Tideborn. I knew something with birth. Tideborn assassin / rogue. Anybody who knows me, I always play rogue. So.
Because he likes to do it from behind.
I like to give it from behind. Chicks never know what's coming.
I don't even know what I was supposed to say to that, because that's wrong on so many.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. That reminds me of my Netflix pick, Lisa Lampanelli. She kind of made fun of rape. She was talking about Kobe Bryant. She goes, that's not rape. That's a good-looking black guy with a job. And a damn good paying job. That's not rape. That's an upgrade. I was like, that's so fucked up.
That is fucked up.
But she was funny as shit. Watch it, guys, I'm telling you. She's not politically correct. Okay, neither am I. I don't give a fuck. Okay. So we're gonna get out of here. Hope you all enjoyed our latest episode. We hope to record next Sunday after our time at PAX. If not, we'll try to do Monday, Tuesday. And get some.
Just stay tuned, because I know we got a lot of stuff coming audio-wise.
Yes, we got I know some people like the Agro reviews we did. Ben and Corey kind of started that. We have a couple more coming, as well as we have something interesting coming from something that recently happened to one of our guys on the site that they were involved in. So look forward to that. I'm not going to say anything. You will find out when the time comes. But we're out. It's late. We've been going for a bit. And we were glad to be back this week after a week off. So thank you all for listening. This is the AggroCast. I'm Michael with Brian and Ben, and we are out. Peace.
Peace.
Later.
Win-win.
Win-win.